my commute to work. I got a few minutes, man. So let's talk a little bit about the Lakers and Grizzlies series. And subscribe if you're new, man. You're gonna get that uncut dope over here, man. I'm gonna just tell you how I see it. I don't placate to the masses. Hoop jargon, that's what I do, man. I'm gonna tell you from my perspective. And I'm always right, though, but I hit a lot too. All right, so without further ado, let's talk about Grizzlies versus Lakers. Now, I've been watching a few of the national media's prognostications for the last day, and it seems like there's a consensus that the Lakers are going to win this series in about 6 or 7 games. So some of the things I've seen, and then I'll say what I think about those evaluations, is that LeBron James and AD being two of the top 10 players in the league, that there's just too much star power. Now, me personally, I don't think I have LeBron James as a top 10 player anymore. He has a top 10 name, for sure, like number 1 in jersey sales and things of that nature. He's still the most popular player, to be argued. But as far as what you actually are as a player, I don't know I believe that. And the reason why I say that is because offensively, from a number standpoint, it's a hard argument to make. I think he's putting up, like 28, 7 and 7 or something to that effect. So I understand that is, those are gaudy numbers, like for a guy, in year 20, like everybody says. But for me, when I watch the pace that he plays at, and I see that the defensive liability, I can't go with that narrative. I can't. So I got LeBron maybe around like 12, 13, which is kind of semantic, so whatever. AD is a top 10 player when he's engaged. I won't argue that. The question is, when is he healthy? When is he engaged? That remains to be seen. Now, in totality, the star power argument, that's cool. I think the Lakers have a lot of pieces that fit AD and LeBron pretty well. And shout out to Rob Pelinka for putting that together. The much the much maligned Rob Pelinka. But the team, you have your ancillary pieces like Dennis Schroeder, guy I've always liked Dennis Schroeder. Y'all hit the like button. Appreciate it. We 3 deep. Appreciate y'all. We have guys like Malik Beasley. We have guys like Austin Reeves. Even Rui Hachimura. He's come along. I mean, I made a video about this a few months ago when we traded for him. He doesn't move my needle, but he's coming along, man. He is a solid player, and in my opinion, the kind of player you need. Just a simple glue guy. So I won't go too far on that. But let's keep it going. The Lakers also have Jared Vanderbilt, who's really good defensively. And speaking of defense, the Lakers are, since that trade, the big hiatus, the big exodus of the old regime, the Lakers are number 1 in overall defense. So that bodes well. Defense travels. So that's a good thing. And then also you got deloading, who, and I know, so I watched Nick Wright, and everybody said the Lakers don't have a third scorer. Yes, they do. He just had a horrible play-in game against the Timberwolves. And then we'll get back to that Timberwolves thing. So I think the Lakers have plenty of weapons, and I think this team can gel. My question is about continuity time, though. So everybody wants to cut and paste like rosters, and that's just not how playoff basketball is played. You can't just say, oh, well, this team got the better roster, so they should win. That's not how it works. The team that is rolling at the right time, the team that can execute matchups, the team that can impose their will wins playoff series. Hoop jargon, what does that mean? When I look at a team like Memphis, now I know they had situations with Ja Morant, and they're doing Ja Morant stuff, trying to act like you're a tough guy and all that good stuff. Memphis is a team that plays hard, man. They play hard, they play together. Last year, they actually won more games without Ja Morant. Now, I know Steven Adams is out. That's going to be a point of attack where the Lakers can take advantage of down low. However, we look at Dylan Brooks, you look at Ja Morant and Triple J, man, they play basketball lock and step, and they're faster and they're younger. Point of pace, I think they have the number 2 pace in the NBA. So I think they can pose problems for the Lakers, because the Lakers now, they do play a little bit more tempo than normal. But I think with playoff ball, they're going to let LeBron have carte blanche to kind of start to run the offense again. And as we know, and this was getting him beat against Golden State quiet as kept. That slow pace does not bode well in this style of the NBA. So when you get the ball and you're slowing up every possession and you're surveying, what you're doing is just stagnating your teammates. And the Lakers have shown with LeBron's absence that they play really good together, even with no LeBron on the court. But AD got to be going off too. Now, I'm not going to act like it's just some miracle synergy they have. But this team is not battle tested. Now, is AD and LeBron battle tested? Absolutely. But again, it's almost like that 38-year-old excuse that people do. The same thing plays to him as a fixture going forward. I'm 39 years old, man. Listen, it's to a certain point you just can't do what you used to be able to do. And LeBron James is not immune, and it's just so funny to me in the public sphere. It's almost like a one-sided thing with that. Like, oh, well, LeBron, he in year 38, year 20, what you expect? So then he does anything, oh, man, he in year 20 doing that. So it's like you can't have it both ways. So I say all that to say that last game that we played, y'all hit the like button. I see with 7D. Appreciate y'all. LeBron played 43 minutes, and we squeaked by the Timberwolves with no Rudy Gobert. And the excuses was, and Shannon was going nuclear. Well, what you expect from a man 38 years old, year 20? Okay, cool, but you can't have it all ways. So, and I always say this, man, with aging players, less is more sometimes. Let the younger guys go out there, because, you know, Greg Popovich did a really good job of this. He hit Tim Duncan like his last 5 years. Tim Duncan averaged about 26, 28 minutes his last 5 years, and he played him in spot duty, and the Spurs were still highly successful. Now, I know the Lakers have a first-year coach in Darvin Ham who's doing a phenomenal job, if we're being honest. For what he was given, trying to implement Russell Westbrook and getting the guys to buy in defensively, I gotta give Darvin Ham an A for his first year. Now, comes the other thing. Playoff time. Darvin Ham has zero coaching experience in the playoffs. Now, as a player, as a bench rider for the Pistons, he knows what the postseason looks like, so I'm not going to play him like he doesn't know what that energy feels like. But as a coach, man, and then shout out to my guy, Talvin Hester, man. He's the head coach at Louisiana Tech University. He told me one of the hardest things in this world to do is to be a head coach. It's because everything falls on you. And he just got his first head coaching job being at La Tech. Before that, he was at Texas Tech. He was at Creighton, Stephen F. Austin. Where else was Talbot at? University of Houston as an assistant. He's like the assistant coach is like the best job in the room, because all you're doing is assisting things, but it doesn't fall on your shoulders if things don't go correctly. Why is that important? Because with Darvin Ham's first go of it, with a veteran-laden team with a lot of expectation, who knows if his X's and O's are correct now? This is his first year, and if we're being honest, chopped the year in half because he had a whole different regime before the trade deadline. That's a lot on a rookie head coach. So I want to see what Darvin Ham's chess moves are going to be in this situation. I know Grizzlies have more of an established team cohesion, and they got Ja Morant, to me, who is arguably the best player in this series, considering AD's health and up and down and volatility, let me use that word, and LeBron James' only offensive prowess. Because here's what you're going to see. Grizzlies run a lot of high pick and roll. So you're going to be making and taking some of those bigs on my Lakers out of their comfort zone. I know AD doesn't like doing that shit when you got to go and hedge and of that nature. LeBron James will switch every time. You watch LeBron James go out the pick and roll, he switches every time, which creates a bad matchup, and people do it on purpose. If you remember last year, man, they played the Mavericks, man. Luka kept trying to, wherever LeBron was, he wanted to create that pick and roll, so LeBron would switch on him so he could just take him. And I think you're going to see a little bit of that going on here, because Memphis knows their rim running ability of Ja Morant is going to be the bedrock of what they do. And then you got guys like Dylan Brooks and I think Desmond Bane who know their roles, and you're going to have guys they're going to play within themselves. Now, the one weakness I see with Memphis, again, is not having their stalwart at big, at Steven Adams. That's going to be a big deficiency as far as, a 7-game series is concerned. But overall, and shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to you Thunder. Shout out to D-Lob. Memphis in 6. LeBron chooses when he wants to play defense at age 38. Card, yeah, exactly. Hoop jogging. Yeah, salute. Yeah, man, and that's kind of my thing. So when I take all those elements that I mentioned, and then again with Triple J gonna go out there and do his damn thing too. I think Memphis, and then by the way, Memphis is the home team. It's a favorite channel, man. Good to see you, bro. It's gonna come down to AD and Triple J. Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment, Fate. So I think youth will prevail because Memphis is not a young team that is not experienced in the playoffs. They have playoff experience, and I think that they just play with a team cohesion. The Lakers, all those names I rattled off, even Dennis. Well, I said Dennis Schroeder. I mentioned him. I think the Lakers have a puncher's chance to win this series. They do. They have a puncher's chance. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I expect the Lakers to lay down because I don't. I think my team is gonna play hard. But playing on the road, not having a home court advantage, and it's funny. I watched all the media pundits. Nobody really talked about Memphis having a home court advantage. It's almost like it's a foregone conclusion, just because the Lakers have the top 2 talent. This is going to be a dub no matter what. And I just don't. I don't agree with that sentiment. I don't agree with that. And shout out to Andrew, man. Says to the Kings. Yeah, the Kings. Hey, man, the Kings are tough. Kings are tough, man. Shout out to De'Aaron Fox. Now he kind of waned away at the end of that game, but I mean, he put up 38 points. Obviously, been the leader. We'll see how sustainable that is. But yeah, Kings handle business so far, holding serve at home. I just think if I'm the Warriors, that's a good loss. That's a good loss. I take that on the road, and that kind of reminds me of the Lakers. You're playing a younger team on the road. Now, the difference with the Warriors is, I mean, the Warriors know who they are. It's 2020, which you can say the bubble and all that. You know, listen, I'll entertain that, but I won't dismiss it either. But I understand that the circumstances weren't the most difficult. Let's see. Humble says half the media got the Lakers. Yeah, well, I would say more than half. More than half has the Lakers win off. But me, I got the Memphis Grizzlies in 6. I got the Grizzlies in 6, man. I think team cohesion, their youth, and their experience, which is underrated because nobody's giving Memphis credit for their experience. I think that will prevail. I think that high pick and roll may be to the detriment of my Los Angeles Lakers, and that may be what we'll see. So I'm looking forward to the matchups. I think the Lakers, now if Anthony Davis decides to show up and put his big boy pants on and play out of his mind, all bets are off. Anthony Davis is the catalyst here to change this series around. Now LeBron will do his usual. He'll probably average about 6 to about 28 points this series. But and LeBron's going to take his logo threes and do all that slow shit. To me, that's not going to win the series. When AD shows up and decides to be AD, because the thing is, AD is going to go there and control the paint when he's engaged, and he's also going to control the board when he's engaged. So if AD pulls like a 30 and 10 performance this series, all bets are off. I'm going Los Angeles Lakers, but I don't know if that's possible because Memphis also plays good defense. They also play good team defense, most importantly, which is underrated. Some people just go player for player, and I understand that. That's how the novice interprets basketball. But if you have a team dynamic, it doesn't matter about player for player. And I'll give this example. When I was in high school, we played against a team called Memorial, man. Nothing but white dudes in our district. And my team, nothing but black dudes. Memorial beat us twice, and we went to the game before the state tournament, man. Like, we were when the smoke cleared, we went to the game before the state tournament. We were ranked number 10 in Texas. Number 10 overall in Texas, we were ranked in 5A, which is the top level at the time. We couldn't handle Memorial, and they had a 6'2" little fat white dude at center, and he was able to curtail our guy, Dante Jackson, who 6'7" guy. He led Houston in blocks. But their team dynamic was they knew how to guard everybody. It didn't matter that there was a advantage down low. The guy knew how to keep Dante out the paint, and when Dante caught the ball low, they would collapse. So team dynamic prevailed over like just this guy's way better than that guy. So same thing applies here. Now I know that's high school, it's a big jump, but I've seen, just trust me on this, I'm a doctor, I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express. I played Division I basketball. I played professional overseas. I've seen this dynamic permeate over various facets. It's just the one that popped in my head, the quickest rather. So with that being said, I think Memphis figures it out because I've seen it happen before. A la Coach Popovich using what's his name? I call him. He's calling him Blimpy. What's his name? Boris Diaw. I saw him use Diaw as a LeBron stopper. Y'all look this shit up. Because if you put Boris Diaw against LeBron James on any metric, you like, okay, LeBron's going to abuse this dude. Especially we talking prime LeBron. We talking 2012 LeBron. 2013 LeBron. Boris Diaw had his way defensively with LeBron James. So it's not always about the marquee names. It's about the scheme. And the scheme was you had Boris Diaw going out there challenging. He had the big body. Pushing big body. Can't stop me. Shout out to Lil Troy. So he was out there disrupting LeBron and elevating the Spurs team dynamic. Now, the first year, they lost. And Kawhi Leonard was the primary defender, like young Kawhi Leonard, baby Kawhi. Baby Kawhi, no hang time Kawhi. And then the second year, after they lost, they came back and I think they beat them 4-1, something to that effect. And Boris Diaw was the catalyst that year. So I see Memphis being able to pull off similar. So, yeah, I got Memphis in 6. Let me catch up on these comments. And thank y'all for being a part of this experience, man. Said the Lakers roster outside LeBron, AD is really young and very little playoff experience. D-Lo, the other talent, it turns into a pumpkin. Yeah, exactly. So it's funny how nobody's talking about the youth of the Lakers because you're right. The ancillary pieces. I mean, D-Lo had that good playoff run two years ago playing with Brooklyn. He did his damn thing. I got to give D-Lo his credit. I'm not the biggest D-Lo fan. But I like this iteration of him. When we first got him, I was super excited. And I saw how, like, cause the book on D-Lo was he saw the game a tick beforehand. And it turns out that was mostly Lonzo. Lonzo had that ability. D-Lo was just a glorified two-guard playing point. Now, his game has matured a lot since then, so I'll give him all the credit in the world for that. So that's kind of where he's at now. Again, did great things for Brooklyn. Did okay for the Timberwolves. Did all right for the Warriors since his last stint with the Lakers. So now that he's back, I just thought that was just a steal of a move, man. Getting from under Russell Westbrook and getting D-Lo, man, life has changed. But again, he has limited playoff experience too. If we're being honest, if we're being real. See, Boris Diaw was an interesting NBA player. He was. He came in the game like skinny as hell. He played for the Hawks. Kind of bounced around a little bit, and then he found his second life with the Spurs, and he was very productive with the Spurs, absolutely. Let's see. These are probably the best first-round matchups. Yeah, I agree with that, Fade. This is a very, very interesting litany of first-round matchups because now on the East, you see some ass whoopings going on. Let me say that. But on the West, man, the West is so deep and so strong. Hell, if Oklahoma City was still in the playoffs, they would give somebody hell in the first round, if we're being honest. So when people are just giving Lakers the credence just because they got two of the top 10 players, I'm like, that's not really the book on the Western Conference, man. The Western Conference has a lot of experience, and they have a lot of guys who are ready and willing to go out there and get their 300, Spartan fight on, as it were. Let's see. Rap Guy says, let's see. D-Live says, D-Lo is more reliable than I thought. Yeah, I mean, well, because again, less is more. D-Loading is a better player because he's not expected to be that facilitator that he was promised to be. D-Lo can now be that off-ball player who, his set jump shot has always been money. He's always been that guy. And he doesn't have to be a team leader anymore. He doesn't have to be that, because, point guard is usually your leader. He's a guy who starts up and ends your player cohesion. Now he doesn't have to be there. He can play like carefree basketball, as it were. And most guys, you'll see that's their best form, playing carefree. All right, let's see. Rap Guy says, what's my observation on Wembanyama? I like him a lot. I put a video out on him like about 4 or 5 months ago, me and my guy Between the Game Sports. I like him a lot. That kid knows how to play basketball. He just got to get into his adult body because he's very light in the ass. So once he starts to kind of fill out, which, I mean, I expect him. He's only like 17, 18 years old. That's going to come. Because I saw a big jump between when he played against Chet Holmgren Last year in the USA versus World Challenge, I don't know what the hell it was, to like what I saw him playing the following year for the Metros out there in France. I think he plays in the French league. You definitely can see the improvement, and he's only gonna keep getting better. And he has a high basketball IQ, and he has like just unreal 2K fantasy player metrics or measurables. So yeah, I think Wembanyama is gonna be a really good guy. Let's see. D-Lob says second round of the East second round is gonna be better. First round of the East is Gabaji. Lakers won't be able to outrun in Memphis. That's what the Lakers may have him for retire at this point. Yeah, and so and to me, the likely face is gonna make excuses for LeBron. But I mean, it is what it is, man. I'm smart enough to know and understand and accept reality where reality exists. All right, what y'all gonna do? Okay, y'all hit that like button, man. Appreciate y'all. So I'm about to wrap it, but let's do that. The Knicks Cavs series, my favorite so far. Yeah. And shout out to the Knicks, man, pulling out game 1. I didn't see that coming, so I give the Knicks a lot of kudos for that. Philly, Milwaukee, Boston. 2 of them have to be the second round. I'm thinking in this actual. Yeah, I like Boston coming out the East personally. Shout out to Slim Collins, man. Good to see you, man. Appreciate you, man. Good to see you, brother. Guys, the biggest women usually have injury issues. I agree with that, Dante. That's a very astute observation. That is how it goes. Now, usually when they're a little bigger, well, no, not really, because shit, Porzingis, same thing, yeah. Maybe he's the anomaly. But you are more right than wrong, Dante. I give you full credit on that. Don't mind my spell out, man. You good, bro. Boy, I turn like to be the most non-spelling dude. I don't know if it's autocorrect messing me up or whatever. I'm a terrible speller. I'm a former spelling bee champ. Not no more. Who you have as your dark horse to win it all? Oh, I got Golden State as my dark horse, actually. Which it sounds crazy because they're the defending champions, but I got them as my dark horse. Shout out to Mike Brown. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Mike Brown had his third life as basketball coach, and he is taking full advantage. So shout out to Mike Brown. So all right, y'all hit the like button on the way out. I got to go to work. Thank y'all for being a part of this experience. That is Hoop Jargon. Tell a friend. Subscribe if you're new. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.